Stop giving your money to woke corporations that hate you and your values. That's why I order all my man's shaving products from Jeremy Razors. Order your Precision 5 starter set today. This set comes with 4 razor blades, sharp as true, with tungsten handle and flip back trimmer. You're not in the market for razors? Jeremy Razors also has other facial products fit just for men. So you don't have to stock your bathroom with products that clean your body but stains your conscience. So shut up and shave. Go to jeremyrazors.com and use cburns15 to save 15% off. That's jeremyrazors.com. Use my special code cburns15 to save 15% off. Let's get to the Breakfast Club. You guys type in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from.
Well, I got a test. I would like to see if you're willing to pass.
This is where she get really disrespectful in her interview.
Because I believe in, just as you believe in civic engagement, I believe in changing the ideas of what political opponents look like, what they should look like, or political candidates. Are you willing to take a test with me quickly? Because I just have a couple of questions for you.
I will, absolutely. So and the way this is opening up, I have a feeling I'm about to fail it, but that's good. Let's do it.
That's right, yeah. Just for clarity, I am an independent. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Cool. I think that's important for the premise of the argument, because I know you did a lot of debating at Harvard. I also want to make it clear these are the same questions that I asked liberal Democrat Marianne Williamson. So I want to make sure that we put that out there as well, just to kind of set the foundation.
I'm open to being humbled. Let's do this.
Okay, great. Let's go. So you mentioned, the pride of being an American and how important it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way, for the United States Air Force. So when is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020. Okay,
so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years you sat around and did not get involved at all in any civic engagement? Is that my...
This is what I have a problem with. A lot of people don't vote. So why are you making that a requirement? A lot of your Black friends don't vote. Women tend to vote more than men, especially Black women. We tend to vote way more than men. So, but you gonna make that a requirement on him? That doesn't make any sense to me.
My understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspectives. I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. So let's go deeper into the self-reflection. So you've sat around for, and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't.
You're not being respectful. You're talking about, oh, you sat around for years. And this is what this Black woman, I know she ain't married. She talks to Black men like that. You sat around and you not did nothing for years. And you sat around and did nothing. You just twiddle your thumbs. This is what Black men get when they talking to a Black woman. Let me know. Put it in the chat. Let me know if I'm wrong. This same type of tone men get with black women because they don't like you. Off rip. They don't like you off rip.
Don't take anything
and you don't even have to be. And you don't even have to be. So take it off and let's go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years. Your parents came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions, according to your resume, off of this country. And you have absolutely not been involved in civics. 1, not voting. And 2, let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier, you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take any leadership role? Because your opponent did, Chris.
I don't even have no words for this, because like I said, I could see this same woman, just for say, for instance, she was dating or she was married with a man and that was less than her. Oh, you sitting around in my mama's house and you've been laying up rent-free, eating all our food for years. And a man, and I'm saying in general, a man down on his luck. Just, oh, this is my house. This is what I get from her. This is my house. And if I'm on the note, you see what I'm saying? This is what I get from her. You sat around for years in where my people built this country. And if you probably check her lineage, 30-40% white. So what are you talking about? You saying that your people built? How we know? because she looked mixed. He has Vivek Ramaswamy has a great response. I love that he held his composure.
He was the class president. So
Yeah, I
have you
did.
ever
I mean,
taken any leadership at all on
I have-
anything or just?
Can I just correct a couple factual things that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country. I was
Okay,
born in
scratch
this
that off
country, and
then.
I'm proud
No,
of that.
no, I know you were born here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio.
You mentioned my
I'm
parents
saying your
brought me-
parents were immigrants.
You said-
My apologies.
That's all right. You said your parents brought you over to this country. I
Yeah,
thought I
my
would set that
apologies.
record
I mean,
straight.
they were immigrants, but let's
They
not
were
go down the
immigrants.
water
Oh,
hole.
no, we're not going to water. I just want to correct a couple facts. And then the other thing is,
You were born here in Ohio.
I was
correct?
born in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's right.
Right. So
Yeah.
you've been here your entire life. So the question
That's
is,
right.
did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president?
I did,
I know
yeah.
you played tennis. What is it? Explain it to us.
Student council. But I think that this is yes, I've held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
No,
That's
it kind of
just-
does.
Okay,
Well, it
well,
kind of does. Well, I'm giving the test. I'm the test
Okay,
administrator.
all right, there you go.
So it kind of does, because when you go from saying I want to go to the highest office,
And I'll tell
of
you,
the
I've led companies as well. Is the other leader?
Right,
The
well,
main leadership
right, but-
role I played is and I want to talk about one early part of your premise that I also want to say, to bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today, one of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated, 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration. Another one for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize
excuse
for
me,
making
sir.
contributions. But
Right. Well, I don't want you to.
And with Black women, that's not enough. You develop medicine for cancer, and you're curing AIDS, and you're curing the hunger. That's not enough civic duty for her. You still don't have the requirement to be president. That's just ridiculous to me. We got to do better, people. We have to do better. I hopefully you guys, I think somebody said we lost your audio, but we got to do better. Okay, you can hear me. I see it. We have to do better. Like he's curing cancer. And you're saying, oh, you just did that for the money. No, I didn't, because I probably had to go in a bunch of student debt or bunch of debt just to actually get the medicine manufactured, or chemists do the research. That's millions of dollars. And you're saying, oh, you just did it for the money. No, how about because I want to cure cancer? How about that? It's not enough, because he sat around and not did anything. He didn't vote when he turned 18. That's not enough. You was a class president. Who gives a shit if you was class president? Like, there's many of people or presidents that didn't serve their country before they was a president. They didn't enlist into the military. Some of them probably have a political background. A lot of them just came off and said, oh, I was inspired to do this. Some of them was lawyers and was inspired to run for president. So I don't know where she got that from. You have to be a civic duty person to run for president. I don't know where that's coming from. That's her opinion. Maybe because she served in the military. I'm not for sure.
To filibuster that,
No worries.
because
Just
that's not the
sitting-
question that I asked, and I don't consider, as a veteran, I'm talking about service. I'm not talking about what you
Civic
did for
service,
profit. I'm not talking about what you paid people to do with
Yeah,
your
so
company.
I've
I'm
not
not talking
served-
about
I've not
that,
served the country
because that
in the way
means
you
nothing
have.
to me.
You do
What I'm
realize
talking,
she
what
hasn't
I
been
am,
able to ask a question. She's been trying to
Go
ask
for
a
it,
question,
yeah.
and you've been talking over her.
I'm all ears.
And he's wrong. DJ Envy, he's conservative, and he know he is. He believes in capitalism, and he know he does. But you're trying to keep your job, pander to this woman that's being very disrespectful.
We gave you the platform to let you say
Seems
what
a
you
little
said.
offensive.
I'm all ears. No, I was just correcting a couple
She hasn't had a chance
facts,
to
that's
ask a
all.
question yet. Every
Go
time
ahead,
she
Ted,
tries
ask
to
the
ask a
question.
question, you've been cutting her off. Go ahead,
I'm
Ted.
all ears.
right. So your question again is, you're trying to, your goal is to raise the standard, and you're saying you want people to believe in country, and you want people to have civic engagement. And sir, I just find it very telling that you haven't had any civic engagement at all, and haven't been at all. And when I say sit around, I don't mean you haven't done anything. I'm talking about in regards to service, because one thing about political office, the same way that you want to change how people look at politics and look at this country, I want to change how people look at politicians.
And you're absolutely wrong. Service, they still get paid. These politicians getting paid. So are you saying service is volunteering, getting low pay? I don't understand where she's coming from. I really don't understand where she's coming from and why she's beating on this civil service. Like, because that's no requirement in, oh, you got to have 20 hours of community service to run for presidency. And that doesn't even make no sense. And I'm pretty sure he does a lot of charity work and all that good stuff.
And when I see that someone hasn't did anything at all to be of service to mankind, to take a leadership role, it's not good enough to just be on city student council. Were you a leader? All of that applies. Have you been able to get anybody in the room at any time, from a high school gymnasium to Ohio, Republican leadership there to now? Have you been able to get anybody in a room to believe in this vision? I don't agree with a lot of your vision statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the practical. You're trying to go from preschool to president of the United States. You're skipping over city council, county council, mayor.
That is not a requirement, woman. We're talking about leading the country. You literally have to be a CEO of a country because America is a business. You got to be a CEO of a country because it has a lot of moving parts. City council is not a requirement. Matter of fact, I probably wouldn't elect the city council because they're tunnel vision. You need somebody with the world view. She's a typical angry Black woman because it's never enough. If you can't sell people to your vision, whether it be profit or making the world medicine or whatever the case may be, you're not a great leader. So apparently he's a good leader because he was able to see his vision through. So I don't think her questions are justifiable. And like I said, you know, an angry Black woman is never going to be enough. Now she's putting another requirement just because he's Indian. And it goes back to my other point. Why do we have a disdain for other races? Like, we just hate them. Because this man is successful, is that why you hate him? Because you didn't think of the idea? You don't believe in capitalism? You thought he should have signed up for the army?
Here, governor, you want to go straight to the top. So my question is this a PR? Is this for the PR, the perception of reality? Or can you point to any leadership where you've been able to get people to believe in what you're talking about that they're not paid to do on any of these vision statements that you have? If not, then to me, it's a moot point because you're telling.
Yes. Hey, I'm on a political campaign. I'm trying to get people to know me. Yes, it's political. It's public relations. Okay, you're saying perception to reality. Yes, I'm on the campaign, woman. Yeah, I'm trying to get people to believe in me. Yeah, I've ran several companies. They believed in my vision. Normally, you don't hire people if you don't get the feel that they believe in your vision. You're not going to hire them, whether they paid or not. Does she get that?
You're holding a standard that you haven't met yourself.
So
I think he's met it, but I think she's moving the bar to some other standard that's just not in reality. She's actually giving me a headache.
You're only going to count government service. You're absolutely
no, not government
right.
service.
Okay. Student
council in the 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th. Were you a leader? Did you do anything to rally anybody? Did you fight for better lunch? I did in the 6th grade with Miss Harris.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about government. I can go all.
He's going to say, yes, I ran for student council, but it's not valid. But she still discounts that too. Watch it.
The way back from the 5th grade every year, sir, because people who are in service to this country, if you're going to go around saying you want people to believe in this country that I signed up to die for, then I want to make sure that you're holding that same standard. So not government, not political. Let's not get it confused. Yeah. I'm saying, have you did anything of service that we can point to say he is a good leader, like Chris? And I'm not even a fan of Chris Christie, but he was the student council president in high school. So have you done anything of service besides yourself that has not benefited yourself? It's just a simple question.
Student council in high school is a popularity contest. You get people, oh, he's my friend, let me vote for him. They don't care about what you're talking about in high school. Oh, he's cute, let me vote for him. Popularity contest. We're talking about real issues beyond high school.
So the acts of service that I have performed are small, so small that I don't even want to talk about them to boast. But yes, have I volunteered for this country? Yes, I have. I've always been interested in
let's talk
healthcare.
about it. It's okay to talk about the small things. I think
These
that
are small
matters.
things, right? But thank you.
No, let's just mention it.
Bethesda
It's fine.
Hospital.
So it's really a no?
No, it's not a no. It's just something I don't like boasting about. I
Well,
volunteer.
we're not boasting.
Yeah,
It's an
no,
interview.
so
You're
there we go.
boasting on your vision and
Look,
everything else.
I think
You
one of the
boasted on
things-
the millions of dollars that you made. So let's just throw it out. So in
I
sixth
actually
grade, I'll give you an
didn't.
example. I'll help you out. In sixth grade, Miss Harrison, Miss
She busting on $1 million that you made. Like, come on now. Why are you doing this? Why is she doing this? Like I said, the hate, that's nothing but hatred for somebody to do that. Because he didn't even deserve that. You mad because he's successful. Is that the reason? I'm trying to pinpoint the reason. Why is she mad, so angry at him?
Harris was let me give you an example because maybe you're confused. In the sixth grade, Miss Harris was snatching papers from everybody in the classroom. So me as a 10-year-old, I went to the principal and said, I'm tired of Miss Harris snatching papers. And I organized the students around getting Miss Harris to stop snatching papers. Now, there was a consequence for that. I got suspended for 5 days for talking back, and I got in trouble. I got a spanking, and I was on punishment for months and months. But that is a simple way of organizing people. So I want you to kind of boast about it the way you did the millions of dollars and said what you did with the pharmaceutical companies. What leadership can you point to that you've been able to rally anybody around anything that is of service that you did not pay anybody to do? I think that's important for the next president of the United States.
Sure. So I've always been drawn to healthcare. That's why I ended up founding companies in that space. When I was in high school, part of what drew me into it was that I was a volunteer at a local hospital. I actually became the leader of that group of volunteers that actually discharged women who had recently given birth. That was it. Nothing big to it.
Did you do anything we can point to stand out?
But I want to say something about that.
He said he was over the volunteer group. Now you want him to do, did you do more? Like you just asked me, did I do any civil service? Yeah, I volunteered, but I didn't think this is significant to being the president because I coordinated the volunteer community. What is your problem, woman? Does anybody let me know in the chat? What is this woman's problem?
Because I say that in the book. If I'm being really honest, why did I do that in high school? A part of the motivation, I'll be just brutally honest with you, was part of the motivation was that's actually what allows you to get into a good college when you graduate.
Right, so it was about you.
So there was an element, and I'm admitting that in a way that very few other people do, but I got to be honest about it. That was a big part of why I did it.
Yeah, it was about self, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to give it back to the guys. I'm going to be honest about it with you.
Yeah.
Leadership is not about self.
I agree with you on that.
What I just heard is that everything is about you. And to be honest with you, this is just a PR campaign, sir. To be honest with you, and I think you're trying to go further to the right because you want the Republicans to accept you as a man of color. And I think the only way you think you can do that is to be so extreme.
I appreciate your opinion.
with your positions, and I think you need to do a little bit more work in service. I'll give it back to you guys.
Let me ask, because she did ask me a question, and then you guys said you wanted to hear a response, but I think I heard an expression of.
She disgusts me. This is very distasteful, and I don't understand why she was so harping on civil service because that is not a requirement for the United States. And I think, when you become the president, you're not doing stuff for profit, really. You're not really making any money. Maybe you have some connections or something like that, but are you really making money being the president? You have several pharmaceutical companies that's probably making millions and billions of dollars a year. I don't know what Vivek Ramaswamy's net worth is, but we're talking about running the country. And why would this be? And to get on her point, okay, I could see someone, for their own gain, their own whatever. But we're not talking about Bill Gates. We don't know this man from the can of paint. Like, is he a Bill Gates? Now, if we say Bill Gates or what's the guy who funded Black Lives Matter, if they run, or even the other guy that was running for their own Wall Street Journal, I think it was Wall Street Journal or the Washington Post, we could say, okay, they have some type of motivation behind it. But this guy, let me know. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. I don't see where he could benefit from running for president, and he's already at some type of financial success. He's only 37. What's the point? He's only 37. Now, Bill Gates and all these other people, I could see they're older. Maybe they wanted, like Bill Gates, he's trying to stop meat production and stop farming. I could see him running for president and her having this type of commentary toward or questions toward that, Bill Gates or somebody like that. But him is like, you volunteered and you didn't run for city council. So you're all about self. I don't know where she got that from. I really don't know. And developing medicine, I don't think that's a selfless act either. Because if you actually if you bought into the company, okay, yeah, selfless act. But if you was actually on the groundbreaking and research development and all that stuff, there's a lot of money and time going into that. So what are you talking about?
Of opinion. So just, I want to make sure you're all done before I respond to it.
No, just wanted to say that even then, I would still want you to point out, even at the hospital, something that you did that made you stand out on when actually taking the leadership role. But you already answered it. You said you did it because it was a motivation to get in college.
Exactly.
Which means
and
it was
I'm
about
being very
you.
honest about that. But
everything has been about you. So as a veteran,
let me tell you something. I appreciate
it's very hard for me to follow leaders that make everything about them. So you might want to work on that because it's a lot of veterans and Republicans. So you might want to work on that talking point and maybe do some volunteering while you're on the campaign trail. I'm going to give it back to Charlamagne and Envy.
Yeah. Once I want to be respectful. Want to make sure you got everything you wanted to on the table before I
got
respond.
If this was just us, it'd be a lot.
You guys tell me. I'm the guest on your show. You tell me when I'm good to speak.
Go ahead.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You sure about that? If we're good.
Yeah, we're sure.
So I think there's a different worldview that we have. And I think the worldview is how one actually makes contributions in a country. I do not believe that there's a separate category of just if you're serving the country and then if you're acting in self-interest, that's somehow sinful or wrong. I reject that vision. To the contrary, I think capitalism is the best system known to man to lift people up from poverty. I deeply respect and I thank you for your service to this country. I'm grateful for it. I haven't served the country in the way that you have. But I think that the way you get ahead in capitalism, how did I develop a multi-billion-dollar biotech company? It was by developing medicines that save people's lives.
A lot of people say capitalism causes poverty.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that. I think that capitalism demands that you provide something to someone that helps them more than you're actually charging them for it. That's the only way.
That's a business model, sir. That's not
a business
service.
model. It's not, I'm not
That's
saying
not
it's
service.
I'm saying it's having an impact on society.
An elected official is service. That's the
And you're getting it confused. America is a business. United States is a business. It's a corporation. And you serve your country, but you don't even know what America is. America is a corporation. You have to use a business model with America. And I would like to think that more business people, successful CEO owners, are more capable of running the country than somebody just, I was elected for the class presidency. Oh, I was on the city council. I would like to think in my head, this man will probably run the country better than Joe Biden.